welcome to Grace Sunday nights. If you're new here, we're glad to have you guys. Also, if you're tuning in online, we're glad you guys can tune in online. So for those of you that don't know me, I'm Micah. I'm the student ministry intern here. No idea who those guys are. No, I'm just kidding. For those of you that don't know me, for those of you that do know me, I'm still Micah, still student ministry intern. So, thank you for those chuckles. Calms my nerves a little bit. So, we are in this series, What Love Does. It's going to be super hard to see. Apologize for that. And last week, Sean kind of introed this whole idea of what love does. And this week, all I have to do is set up the next 4 or 5 talks. And in doing that, we're kind of bookending this series with the Great Command, the Great Commission. So this week, I'm talking about the Great Command. So if you guys would bow your heads, I'm going to go ahead and pray. God, I thank you for this opportunity to speak. God, I pray that it's you who speak through me. And I pray that people would go from here and learn more of your love, and not only learn it, but do it. So I pray this all in your name. Calm my nerves, amen. All right, so let's kind of start off with, I'm going to read from Luke 16. I know that's not the Great Command. It's okay, I'll get there. For those of you that have a Bible, it's in your Bible. It's in my Bible on page 1625. Don't think that's probably the same for you. But if you don't, it's also on this screen, okay? Convenient. So, starting in verse 1, Jesus told his disciples, there was a rich man whose manager was accused of wasting his possessions. So he called him in and asked him, what is this I hear about you? Give an account of your management, because you cannot be manager any longer. The manager said to himself, what shall I do now? My master is taking away my job. I'm not strong enough to dig, and I'm ashamed to beg. I know what I'll do. So that when I lose my job here, people will welcome me into their houses. So he has this plan. The rich man finds out his manager's irresponsible, and so he fires him, right? Because that's what happens in the real world. He's irresponsible, so he gets fired. So he's like, well, I don't know what to do. I'm not going to get a letter of recommendation for the next job from him. I'm unemployable, and I'm not going to beg. I'm too proud for that. So what am I going to do? And he kind of thinks on it. He's like, I've got it. So this is what he does. In verse 5, so he called in each one of his master's debtors. He said to the first, how much do you owe my master? 800 gallons of oil, he replied. That's a lot of oil. The manager told him, take your bill, sit down, and quickly make it 400. Then he asked the second, and how much do you owe? 1,000 bushels of wheat, he replied. He told him, take your bill and make it 800. Now, here's what's interesting. I used to work at Classics. By the way, for those of you that were here last week and got free custard, we have a card in the back because Tim Miller donated all of that. So if you're watching, thank you, Tim. So there's a card out in the lobby during the 15 after. Sign that card. He was very generous in his donation, so shout out to Tim. But when I was working at Classics, okay, if I did this, if I went and I said, oh, I know who you are. Here, I'll give you a 15% discount. This is a lot more than 15%. Ask your friends who know how to do math. It's a lot more than 15%, but if I were to just randomly give someone a 15% discount, I would be reprimanded, right? There would be consequences for me, and that consequence might be that I get fired, which is what this guy already did, so maybe sue him. I don't know, but this is what Jesus says. The master commended him. I'm going to let that sink in for a second. The master commended the dishonest manager, which is a sentence that does not make sense to me in the slightest, because he had acted shrewdly. For the people of this world are more shrewd in dealing with their own kind than are the people of light. I tell you, use worldly wealth to gain friends for yourselves, so that whenever it is gone, you'll be welcomed into eternal dwelling. So this is what he means. The people of light he's talking about here. Let me tell you about who those are. There's this group of people called the Essenes, or there were, okay, who go up, who decide one day, Jews, you aren't doing it right, which, I mean, we read the New Testament and they weren't. But then they go, here's what we're going to do. We're going to gather all of our fellow righteous people and go up on the side of a mountain and just pursue the knowledge of the prophets and the law. And that's just what we're going to do for the rest of our lives. That sounds awesome to me for a week. Go up with my closest friends, go up, study the Bible, be, close to God. And, oh man, it sounds so peaceful, right? But they decide we're going to do this indefinitely. And so Jesus kind of speaks out against them. He says, I tell you, use your worldly wealth to gain friends for yourselves, so that when it's gone, you'll be welcomed into eternal dwellings. Jesus says it's not about all the stuff that's here. It's not about bushels of wheat or gallons of olive oil or money. It's not about all this. Use your leverage to make friends, to love one another, okay? So that's who the Essenes are. And Jesus says, knowing all that, doing all that, cool, but you don't have it right yet. So there's two things we need to understand about love. Okay, we need to understand what love is, because that's important. We need to understand, otherwise 1 Corinthians 13, just throw it out the Bible, it's fine. We don't even know what love is. But that's important. We need to understand what love is. We also need to understand what love does, because the conversation of what love is should prompt the conversation of what love does. So here's what I mean by that. Okay, in John 14:15, Jesus says, if you love me, keep my commands. Well, I wonder what his commands are. I bet he says it somewhere. Matthew 22:37-40, and this is the great commandment. Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. I'm going to pause there, because here's what I find interesting. If you love me, keep my commands. What's your command? Love. If you love me, love. That makes sense, right? Interesting. I didn't think Jesus made sense until just now. I'm just kidding. Otherwise, they wouldn't have put me on the stage. So this is the first and greatest command. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law of the prophets hang on these two commands. All the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments. Here's what he's saying. The law and the prophets that the Essenes went up on the side of a mountain, that can be learned all, how long did it take me to read that? Like 4 seconds? All of it is wrong slide. All of it hangs on these two commandments, okay? And here's why that's important. Here's what that means, okay? English teachers in the room, correct me if I'm wrong, or anyone that's logical, to every cause, there's an effect. The reason I say English teachers is because I learned that in, 4th grade English? I don't know. For every characteristic, that brings upon an action. Therefore, what love is should prompt what love does. Here's what that means personally. I like to think of myself as a friendly person, okay? Some of you might disagree. I don't care. I like to think of myself as a friendly person, okay? So here's what that means for me. This is my characteristic, okay? I like to think I'm friendly, so I'm going to include people. We're going to go, we're going to hang out. Hey, do you want to come? Hey, while we're there, hey, let's have this conversation, or let's play this game. Do you want to come with us? Do you want to play this game and have this conversation and do this? I want to include people. Okay, that's why whenever I go and I play disc golf, I don't go play disc golf alone. I invite Larry and John, etc. Okay, I include people. So I'm friendly. So also, I care. Okay, I'm going to care for you. We go and we hang out. I'm going to care for you, right? Because I want to know, hey, I heard your mom is in the hospital. Is she okay? Is she doing well? Hey, that thing that you shared with me last week that you're struggling with, are you okay? Are you getting over that struggle, or are you fighting that battle? I'm going to care, right? Because that's part of me being friendly. But probably the number one thing I'm going to do, because of my personality and who I am, we're going to laugh. Okay, I don't understand people who don't like to laugh. Like, do you know those people are like, everything you say, that's not funny. That's not funny. See, I might say that, but inside, I'm laughing. In fact, I seek out ways for things to be funny. Like if you say something, I'm like, I know that's funny somehow. I know it. Okay, I got it. That's funny. Oh, man. And I laugh. Okay. So I'm friendly. So I'm going to include people. I care, and I laugh. I am, therefore I do. Okay. So, like I mentioned, 1 Corinthians 13. It's important to know what love is, right? But if all we have is what love is, and we don't have what love does, do we really have what love is? So in the upcoming weeks, love is patient, right? If you've ever been to a wedding, I'm not actually going to read 1 Corinthians 13 right now, but if you've ever been to a wedding or existed around church for any period of time, you've heard 1 Corinthians 13, love is patient, love is kind, so on and so forth, because you know it. Love is patient. Therefore, it forgives, right? In the weeks to come, next 2 weeks, Chris gets to talk about forgiveness. We were going to have him do it in 1 week, but then he was like, well, that's a big topic, which it is. So we're giving him 2 weeks on that. And love is kind, right? So you know what it does? If it is kind, it's going to encourage. And John Drewson's going to get up here and talk about what that means in a couple weeks. Love is enduring, so it sacrifices. And Barry gets to come up here and talk about that. And so we have all this, what love is, leads to what love does. But here's the thing. If we don't have what love does, what love is useless, right? Here's what I mean. Okay, I'm not going to even look at my mom because I know exactly the look she's giving me, or she will be giving me. Okay, I'm going to talk about cleaning your room. Okay. She's covering her face. It's awesome. Parents or kids, or parents if you've ever been a kid, because that doesn't make sense in my mind either. You have either said or have heard, go clean your room, right? Except for you neat freaks or you need Jesus. You've heard, go clean your room. And so here's what you do. You're like, I know what I'm going to do. My mom just told me, go clean my room. I'm going to go into my room. I'm going to open my Bible. I'm going to read about what it means to clean my room. Hey, Dallas Santos, come over. We're going to have a Bible study on what it means to clean my room. Yeah, yep. All right, see you soon. So I just found out, guys, this is how you say clean your room in 4 different languages. These are all the techniques on how to clean your room. And this is like a 2-day process, right? Because I'm so amped up and hyped about knowing what cleaning my room is like, and then I go to my mom. Some of you know where I'm going with this. I go to my mom. The reason, okay, I've never cleaned my room. I'm one of the messiest people I know, okay? How many times have you said, clean your room, and me actually go clean my room? None. She says none. Okay, that's probably accurate. She's probably cleaned my room more times than I've cleaned my room. It's okay, I don't live under her roof anymore. I get to be messy on my own. So, when I go, my mom's like, okay, did you clean your room? And I go, Mom, I know all about cleaning my room. I know how to say it in 4 different languages, okay? Greek, Hebrew, Aramaic, and English. Bet you didn't guess that last one. I know all the techniques for cleaning my room. I know them all. Alphabetized. I don't know them alphabetized because I'm not organized. Otherwise, you wouldn't have to tell me to clean my room. But I go, Mom, I know how to clean my room. And she goes, did you clean your room? And I go, no, I didn't. If you're a parent, are you happy? Show of hands. Who's happy with their child that didn't clean their room after telling them, go clean your room? Yeah, all my students that are like, oh, I'm gonna be cool. But here's the thing. Jesus says, love people. Okay? In the Great Commandment, if you want to put that back up there, Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. Love is a command. Jesus says, love people. Oh, love is just this feeling. No, it's a command. I mean, it's a feeling too, but it originates here, right? Jesus says, love the Lord your God. It's a command. And what do you call a command that you don't do? Sin, right? Sin. Jesus says, do something, you don't do it. What is that called? Sin. There we go. Which is interesting. So is it sin if I don't love people? Yeah, because that's called hate. And the second is like it. Well, wait, let's just stop here. Let's stop here. I'm comfortable with that. I can be like the Essenes, go up on top of a mountain and just, oh, I love Jesus, and oh man, the Bible, it's so awesome. But the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. All the law of the prophets hang on these two commands. So here's the thing. Knowledge without action is useless, right? In fact, James says this. But someone will say, you have faith, I have deeds. Show me your faith without deeds, and I will show you my faith by my deeds. You believe that there's one God, good. Even the demons believe that and shudder. You foolish person, do you want evidence that faith without deeds is useless? Here's what he's saying. There's knowledge. And it's good. It's good to know that there's a God, right? It's good to know that there's a God. Cool. Even the demons believe that. So what? What are you going to do now? So there's knowledge, which is good. But then there should be action. Faith without works is dead, right? So let's do this. Let's go with me here and let's pretend like we're all trees. Okay? Sounds very mystical. I don't like that. It's okay. And we all have these rings to us, right? You chop a tree in half. There's rings. Don't worry, we're not chopping anyone in half tonight. Barry's going to talk about sacrifice. He's going to come up here. Never mind. It'll be a surprise. So there's all these cool words. Love the Lord with all your heart, soul, and mind. Here, let me know what that means. It means labab. Yes, it's labab. I looked it up. I wanted it to sound more esoteric, but it doesn't. Labab. Love the Lord with all your soul, your mind nefesh. With my mind, or some of your translations say strength and mind. My meod, my mind. Here's what that means. Here's what that means. Everything that we are, regardless of your interpretation of it, should love the Lord, right? Which, that sounds cool. To me, that excites me. I love a good worship set, okay? And our band is great. I love a good worship set, good music, it's awesome. And the second is like it though, right? Love the Lord your God. This is the first and greatest commandment. The second is like it. So the second should be a replica of the first. So we should love our neighbor with all that we are, right? That doesn't sound pleasant to me, okay? Because I don't know about you, but I know some flawed human beings, okay? I'm talking about myself also. And that's hard, right? It's not easy just to love people. Oh, I love people. No, not everyone, I promise. Because we're flawed human beings. But so how does that Yeah, we're supposed to love our neighbor with all that we are too, but how do we do that? Because our love should not only edify our worship, okay? It should edify our relationships. It should edify my relationship with my friends, right? Because I love them, and that makes that a good, healthy relationship. If it's just a relationship built around, I used to have relationships just built around like video games. I don't know about you, but new video games come out every year. I know that. And so when new video games came out, I lost those friends. Okay? But I didn't really love them. I just wanted to go over and play Xbox because I didn't have one. That was awesome. So in that I didn't love them, I don't usually talk to them today, right? But there are friends that I've had that I love. Daniel Faulkner, okay? I talked to him 3 days ago. He lives in Tennessee. Haven't actually seen him in, 4 years, 3 years? A long time, okay? So I love these people, and I wish it was easy. I wish I could say it's easy to love everyone, but it's not. So what does that look like for you? I don't know. Okay. I don't know what that looks like for you, because each of us are different, right? I can't say your application to love my neighbor is this, because it's not. You're going to go love someone different than I'm going to go love someone. I'm going to go love someone, hang out, we're going to laugh, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a good time. If I'm going to go just intentionally love someone, that might not look the same for you. You might be like, oh, I hate laughter. Okay, you need to find Jesus. But that might look differently than you. People love in different ways. If we hang out, typically we're just going to sit and hang out and watch Netflix or something. You might be like, no, let's go. That freaks me out. So, all that to say, I don't have the answer for you. They put me on stage. What is he going to say? I don't know. Nothing. How about this? Would you pray with me? Pray to yourself that the Lord our God would search your heart. God, show us how to love you better. Love you with all that we are. With every fiber of our being, from our heart to our soul to our mind. What does that look like? Show us in this moment what that looks like to love you. Now, God, I pray that you would also show us what that means to love our neighbor with all that we are. That's uncomfortable, God. God, I pray that as we go forth, that not only would we know what your love is and what your love looks like, but also that we would exhibit that, God. That we would be the example for what that looks like for other people. I pray that you would show us what that looks like. God, you love us with all that you are. You have so much love for every single person in this room, watching this online, for people that are elsewhere having a different talk in a different church, for people that are unsaved and unchurched, God. And you love each and every one of us, each and every one of them, with all that you are. I pray, God, that you would show us how to do the same. Both love you and love our neighbors. Pray all this, God, in your name. Amen.